you ever heard the saying that everybody can't go with you on your journey, or different people have different reasons and seasons in your life? Well, if you're on a pivot journey or you're ready to get to the next version of yourself, this might be especially true. So, if you'd like to learn more about the different people you might need to surround yourself with as you move to the next level in your life, then stick around and let's discuss it. Hi, friends. Welcome in. I'm Shannon, and welcome to my channel, Shannon the Fifth. We discuss all things womanhood, from wellness to lifestyle and career. We talk about it here. So, if you're interested in those types of discussions and that type of content, settle in, sit down, grab a snack. Let's talk about it now. So, in today's video, I want to talk about the people that I find myself needing and wanting to be surrounded by as I take on some of the biggest risks I've ever taken, especially in my professional journey. If you're new here, I am in the middle, or maybe even the beginning, of a huge lifestyle pivot, especially as it comes to my career. I am a woman in her early 40s who has decided, after 20 years in one career path, God has called me. I have listened. I've decided to be obedient. That's what I've decided. But God has called me. I have listened, and I am changing my career paths from being a writer slash storyteller to now being a doula and founder of a maternal wellness and birth justice business called The Fifth Curve. In my previous video, the one right before that, and I'll link it in the description or in the cards. I'm still kind of new to using YouTube in this way. But I announced what that pivot was going to be, and it was one of the scariest things that I've been through. But I'm learning as I walk this journey, the more that I surround myself with the people that I need in this space of my life, the more comforted I feel as I take this journey. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm still scared most days, right? And on most days, I still honestly have doubt. But I'm sitting in a level of obedience that I think God is okay with. I'm listening to instruction. I'm moving forward with this vision and with the plans that God has set forth for me. And I'm just trying. I'm trying as hard as I can. And thankfully, to these types of people, the journey gets a bit easier to manage each day. So I've come up with a list of the 8 types of people that you need to surround yourself with as you elevate to your next level. Now, this is who I think the people are, the group of people are, based on being a founder, taking a pivot, um, being a woman, being a mother, being a wife, and having that combination of those things, and being in your 40s, having a combination of those things all at once, right? So if that fits you, then these 8 people might fit you. And if it does, the combination of those traits don't fit you, then you might pull and grab from this list and modify it as you see fit. So let's walk down the list, and I'll explain the 8 people that I'm surrounding myself with as I take this journey. Let's start with number 1. Okay. So, number 1 for me is a praying person. Whoever that praying person is, a grandmother, someone at your church, someone on the street who likes to pray, someone in your community, whoever that praying person is, you need someone who's going to pray with you and pray for you. Um, because this pivot and these risks, especially, considering all the dynamics that I have, require constant communication with God. And sometimes I feel too weak to communicate. Sometimes my ego gets in the way of me communicating clearly and expressing what I want instead of saying, God, have your way, your will be done. I need someone to intercede, right? I need someone to pray for me or pray with me to coach me through this season. So my number one person is aligning someone who shares the same faith. Um, for me, you must believe in God. We got to pray to the same God. But we are aligned in faith, and they know the desires of my heart, but more importantly, they believe in God and his ultimate will and plan. And I can talk and commune with them, and they can pray over me, pray with me, and pray for me. So number one in your journey is a praying person. Now, number two for me has been a business coach. So I would say number two is a business coach, an advisor, or a mentor. I have been against business coaches. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, and I've had several versions of business coaches, and they didn't work out well for me for one reason or another. The one that I have now works very well for me, especially in this season. Her coaching style, number one, is faith aligned. She has no problem talking about her faith and her belief in God and integrating that into her coaching. But number two, she accepts my personality. She accepts where I am emotionally. She's empathetic towards that, but she won't let those emotions get in the way of the fact that I need to make progress. So she believes in accountability. She believes in transparency. She believes in forward motion. And those are the things that I need, especially as I find myself vulnerable in this space and easily looking for an exit. So my coach reminds me every day, is on me every day to keep pushing forward regardless of how I feel, how it looks, in the uncertainty that I have. She believes in my business model. When things don't look right in the model, she is comfortable with telling me, hey, you might want to sit with that and think on that, and it challenges me to move forward. So for you, I would say, get yourself a business coach, an advisor, a mentor, or maybe even a therapist fits in that bracket, but someone who's going to hold you accountable, who will be empathetic to where you are, but won't allow you to use your current status and your current emotional well-being as an excuse not to make progress. Let's move on to number three. Okay, so number three for me is a resourceful person. You need someone who's going to speak your name in rooms you haven't even been in yet. You need someone who is going to send opportunities your way, who understands what you're doing and what you're looking for, and keeps you on their mind as they see stuff that relates to you. I think a resourceful person can find stuff that you wouldn't even think of. A resourceful person will speak highly of you in a situation that benefits you, and you don't need to be present. You don't need to compensate for that. Of course, reciprocity. You do want to repay someone in any way you can. Generosity, gratitude, reciprocity, they all go hand in hand. But a resourceful person who is like, hey, I know what you're doing. I know what you could be interested in. I know your personality. I know your credibility. I know your availability. I know your willingness, all these things. And I saw this thing, and I'm just going to drop it in your lap. Do with it what you will. So that's what I would recommend as number three on your list, is someone who will unapologetically, without shame, without doubt, without requiring compensation or payback, find opportunities that align with you and mention your name in rooms where you haven't even entered yet. So number four is kind of on the flip side of a resourceful person, but they're like cousins. And I'm going to call the fourth person you need on this journey is a hunter and a gatherer. So whereas a resourceful person, you know, finds things that aligns, is more organic than anything, a hunter and a gatherer goes and looks for it and brings it back to you, right? So with a hunter and a gatherer, you can say something like, I need something, I need a resource to help me land this gig, or I need to update my media kit. Let's try that. I need to update my media kit. That hunter and gatherer might go out and find you a publicist within their network, or go find you someone they didn't even know. They might find you a publicist or a media relations person or a photographer to do your headshot, or a makeup artist to handle your makeup for your headshot, or someone who works in media. They're going to find the people and the places and the resources and the things to pull all of it together. So your hunter and gatherer is constantly on the look. They're constantly scanning the field to see, what can I find and bring back to my person to satisfy their need and check this box. The resourceful person and the hunter and gatherer might be the same people, or they could be totally different. What I'm finding in my journey is that they're actually two separate people. And I think what distinguishes them for me is the resourceful person is like, hey, it's organic. I didn't go out of my way, but this was in perfect alignment. It was easy to do, and I'm not seeking compensation. A hunter and gatherer might say, hey, can you give me a referral fee for doing that for you? Or I charge for my time to do that, but I can guarantee that what I bring back is credible and worth your time and money. So that next person is definitely a hunter and gatherer. I would not substitute a resourceful person for a hunter or gatherer, and vice versa. You need both. Let's move on to the next person. So my fifth person, I call them an out of the box thinker, right? And this is important to me because I'm someone who spins my wheels frequently. Like, you know, that image like in Super Mario Brothers or any game where they're moving and they can't go past a brick wall, so you just see them moving like that. That's me sometimes, right? Like, I have, my wheels are spun. My wheels are spun out of control. I have nothing left to give. There is no gas left in the tank. And so I'm not thinking anymore. I've tried everything. I think I have tried everything. And I can't get an answer. I can't get a result. And an out of the box thinker, when you bring that to them, like, hey, I've been trying to solve this problem and I just cannot figure out what to do. An out of the box thinker will go, well, have you thought about, or have you tried? Have you looked at it from this perspective? Like, they will give you a solution that you didn't think of. Now, of course, everybody can't read your mind, and that out of the box thinker doesn't know that you've ran through 99 variables of how to solve this problem, and all of them don't work. So there's a chance that there's some redundancy in the solution that they gave you. But there's also a chance, because you specifically attracted someone who thinks big and sees things a little bit clearly and is strategic, or whatever it is. Maybe they're just the opposite of you, which helps them to be out of the box compared to you. But that person has a way of presenting something to you that you didn't even think of. And whether it solves your problem or just ignites a spark, it does something to rev up the engine and get you going again. So I would say definitely your fifth person is an out of the box thinker. On to number 6. Now this one I think is really important. Number 6 to me is someone who speaks your love language. Now that could be a spouse, your partner, a close friend, a loved one, whomever, but they speak your specific love language. So we've heard about the 4 different love languages, right? And people offer love and receive love differently. Finding someone who speaks your love language allows you to receive the love that they're giving 100%. Like, in full capacity. And in a journey like this of pivoting your lifestyle, taking big risks, trying something new, being vulnerable and scared, you need love the way you receive love. Alternate versions of love are good, but they're not going to fill your tank when you want to just throw in the towel. So whoever speaks your love language, whether that's quality time or gifts or words of affirmation and physical touch, whatever those things are that you're like, this is the way that I feel loved and comforted, you need that person. Because at the end of the day, when you want to throw up your white flag and surrender and walk away from all of it, you need someone who understands if they stroke your shoulder or if they buy you a gift, a small token, or something large if you require fancy gifts. Or if they say, let's go on a walk and talk and spend some quality time together. Whatever it is that they give you refills your tank. You need someone who replenishes your reserves. And so get you someone who speaks your love language. On to the next one. So my next one, my number 7, is controversial to me, and it's probably why it's so low on my list. At first, I thought this was no particular order, but as I repeat these things back to you, I'm realizing, yeah, it was a very strategic order for me. You might rearrange it. But number 7 on my list is a cheerleader. And I'm going to tell you why they're so low on my list. Don't get me wrong, I need validation in some aspects of my life like anyone else. I need somebody to hype me up like anyone else. But I need the other people way more or first. I prioritize those other relationships first before a cheerleader. And I think it's because I don't want somebody to lie to me. I don't want somebody who is constantly like, you can do it, keep going, you're the best. And I'm not doing my best. And I don't feel like going. And I don't think I can do it. Because that's not going to fill me back up. That's not going to make me want to finish the race, right? A cheerleader for me definitely works when I'm already making forward progress. When I've stalled and I'm stopped, a cheerleader is not going to get me going again. A praying person will. A coach will. A resourceful person will. Like, those people will. A cheerleader, to me, is more valuable when I'm doing good than when I'm doing bad. And maybe that's just me and my twisted solutions of the people that I need. I love my cheerleader folks. I love the positivity. It's not the positivity that I'm shying away from. It is, no, I don't have any more gas in my tank. I cannot go any further. And you cheering me, telling me to go further is not helping the situation. It's actually annoying me. So the cheerleader, for someone else watching this, might be number 1 on your list. For me, it's number 7. Regardless, they're on the list for a reason. You gotta be hyped up. You gotta be hyped up in your journey. But now, let's move to the last and final thing, which I think is interesting when we talk about being having a cheerleader on your list. So, the last person on my list is, again, an accompaniment to a cheerleader, but also the opposite. The same way I had someone who's resourceful and a hunter and gatherer. They can work together. They can't be swapped out. They accompany each other. They're cousins. The last person on my list, but definitely needs to be on my list, is a realist. I need someone who's going to be like, girl, let me give it to you straight, right? The reason that this isn't doing well is because it's not great quality, or it was late, or you can do better, or there were a bunch of errors, or, whatever the case is. I need someone that's real and who's going to hold me accountable. Now, The other thing about this real list is although you're keeping it real and you're being honest and transparent and realistic with me, you can't be condescending and you can't be judgmental and you can't scold me. You know, like, just because you're real doesn't mean you have to be mean. Like, the two aren't interchangeable. So for me, a real person is like, girl, I saw that you gave it your best shot, or maybe it was just an off day because I've seen you do better. I noted these things were wrong. Now, part B to a realist is don't point out my stuff without a solution on how to fix it, right? Because now you just nitpicking and that doesn't make me feel good either. So if you tell me, hey, you made a great peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I think that if you would have cut it diagonal, it would have knocked it out the park. Now, Shannon, perhaps you didn't cut it diagonal because you didn't know how. Let me show you. That's a realist to me. That's someone I need on my team, right? Not, girl, the reason your sandwich sucked is because you cut it down the middle versus diagonal. So guess who's not a supreme sandwich maker? I don't need that. I don't need that. That is the quickest way to really put a bee in my bonnet and burn my biscuits. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Yeah, don't give me that. Okay. So those are the 8 people that I think you need on your team, especially as you are undergoing a major transition. Whether you are pivoting your whole life or just aspects of it, or you're trying to elevate to the next version of yourself or the next level of your lifestyle. I think that surrounding yourself with the right people is the key to pulling that off and making it a sustainable pivot, making it a sustainable transition so that you want to keep the momentum and see it through. Now, of course, like I said, these are the 8 people that I'm putting in my tribe as a new founder of a birth justice and maternal wellness brand. Plug for the 5th curve, right? These are the people who are in my circle that have been helping me for the past 2.5 months as I made the most risky pivot I've ever made while also undergoing a lot of other transitions in my life. So leave a comment. Let me know if you have those 8 people or if you have a different list of 8 people. Comment. I want to hear. Tell me who your 8 people are, or more or less people. It's up to you. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get these numbers up. Let's do something about this new channel that I have. And I will see you in the next video.